Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 5 of the Sisters in Service podcast. You guys know me. I'm Kat Corchado, and I want all of you to understand that this podcast is a passion project born out of my own experiences as an Air Force veteran. I understand firsthand the unique challenges and triumphs that come with serving in the military and the transition to becoming a veteran. You know, this podcast is a tribute to all our people that serve, but not just the service member, our active duty people, our veterans, our military spouses, military brats, and of course, our veteran service organizations. This platform gives us an opportunity to share, learn, and grow together, acknowledging our shared experiences and providing support and encouragement to each other. Alongside this, most of you probably already know this, but I'm also doing the Why Not Wellness podcast. It's a little snippet, 15 minutes or less, but this is a space dedicated to helping everyone rediscover their fitness fabulosity. It's a journey towards feeling good in our bodies and embracing wellness. Because I believe that our health and wellness are the pillars upon which we build our lives, especially after service. I'm incredibly grateful for the support of our sponsors. The first one is Small Space Pilates, which is an online fitness platform offering live classes in strength training, stretching, and of course, Pilates. These classes are designed to be accessible and effective no matter where you are in your fitness journey. The second sponsor is the My Sexy Business. They offer guidance and help you to own a business that doesn't own you. So let's get started with our first guest for our new season. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sisters in Service. You know me. I am your host, Kat Corchado. And today's guest is someone who has turned life's hardest moments into a source of light, not only for herself, but for women all over the world. Hardie Cobbs is a certified style coach and the founder of A Year in Style, a transformational approach to midlife that blends creativity, confidence, and self-reinvention. After facing breast cancer and coming out the other side, she felt a deep calling to help other women reconnect with themselves, not just how they look, but how they feel, live, and move through this next chapter of life. So if you don't know, we're going to be talking about clothes. We're going to talk about what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. We're going to break some rules. We're going to do all those things. Hardie, welcome to Sisters in Service.
Thank you, Kat. This is going to be a very fun conversation. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
I know Hardie from another podcast that I did with my salty sister, Yvonne Marchese, in case you didn't know. Her name sounds familiar. And I started thinking about, because I know you're wondering, it's like, okay, Hardie's not a veteran. Why is she here? Here's why she's here. If you spend any amount of time in the military and you're wearing a uniform for, 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 40 years, who knows? What happens when you leave? Do you know how to dress? Do you know what business casual is? Do you know what looks good on you? What colors look good on you? This is what Hardie does. Okay, and we're going to talk about all of that. So, Hardie, here's my first question.
Okay.
Is when women are, when you're younger, you just go out and buy things. You're like, oh, I love this. You don't have, as my mother said, you have no shame.
Yeah, you'll try anything. It's all about taking risks.
That works.
Yeah.
And I'm a product of the 70s. Yeah. Okay. Everything was okay back in the 70s. But how do we, as we adult, hate that word, adulting sucks sometimes. But when we're adulting, how do we pick clothes? Like every day, you're at home, but let's say I'm going to a really nice party. How do we start? What do I do? What's the first thing what should I think about first?
Well, that's sort of the blank canvas of a painter, right? Like, where do you
Oh,
start? It
yes.
can be
Yeah.
really, I think it can be really just sort of daunting to say, oh gosh, well,
Mhm,
where do I wear? Especially if you have been in a uniform and you have that
mhm,
structure and that was made up for you, and now you can choose anything. So how do you
mhm,
start that? One thing that I really love doing is helping women figure out what their style is. And one of those things is don't pay attention to rules. So just take the rules and go, throw those out the window. But really just think about, other than weather or what you have to wear, like if you're going somewhere and it's black tie,
mhm,
sometimes you have those specific things and that will tell you what you need to do. But I really think it's a matter of how you feel in your clothes. And, are you someone who really likes dresses? Would you want to start that? Or do you hate dresses? You're only a
mhm,
pants person and that's what you're going to do. You really start with, how are you going to feel comfortable? I mean, I have a whole process of how do you feel, like where you go through your words. And we can talk about that
mhm,
later. But I really feel like it starts with how, other than the weather and that kind of stuff that I just said, just how do you want to feel when you go? Like,
mhm,
do you, if you go into your words, do you want to feel smart? Do you want to feel comfortable? Do you want to feel approachable?
mhm,
That will tell you how dressy you have to get, how not dressy you have to get, what have you. But there's sort of a whole thing into how you
mhm.
feel, I think.
Exactly. I think I always start with color. Color's a
Yeah,
big, like purple. And I know people say, well, what color purple? All of it.
all of I know you love, and purple's so
All of
beautiful
it.
on you.
I love it. I start with the color.
Mhm.
And then if the color brings me towards whatever this is, whether it's dress or whatever. And then I looked for sizes and I try a couple sizes on. And sometimes I've loved something so much and it just doesn't fit me right. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that I start with color, but some people might start with just, I don't know. What else would you
Silhouette.
start with? Just
Silhouette.
silhouette.
But
Okay.
but that's also how you feel. Color
Hmm.
makes you feel a certain way. I bet when you choose purple versus maybe when you choose orange, that makes
Hmm.
you feel different things. Purple might be your safe color. It might be the color that grounds you the most.
Hmm.
That's what you're starting with. You're starting with that. And for you, from what I can tell, doing a color story is very important to you. That's a strong element of your style. So that's what you're starting with. Or you could
Hmm.
start with silhouette, sort of, if you know you love to wear pants. Well, what silhouette pants? Do you like the skinny, sort of a narrow pant? Do you like a wide leg? Both,
Hmm.
or a barrel leg, all of those are going to make you feel a different way. They're gonna
Absolutely.
play into, sort of, I always say, like, a wide leg trouser is makes
Hmm.
you feel a little bit more dressed up, right? Or a little bit more elegant
Oh, yeah. I just
versus
recently got into wide leg jeans, like
mhm,
really wide, because it makes me feel kind of funky. I think I told you
yeah,
my style was boho funk.
yeah. Purple boho funk, which I love. That's
But Hardy, here's a question for you. You often say style is more than clothes. It's also energy. What do you mean by that when you talk to people?
So everyone thinks style is, oh, it's what I put on my body. They kind of
Hmm.
confuse it with fashion. It's not. It's
Hmm.
style is, or it's sort of the choices that you make of how you're moving through this earth. It's like it is the choices that you make that you put on your body. I mean, you and I can put on the same shirt and the same pants, but it's what we do with it that is our
Hmm.
style, what we put together. But it's also how you decorate your house, what story you're telling in your house. It's
Hmm.
how you wrap a present. It's the books you read. It's where you travel. It's how you treat
Hmm.
people, quite
Yeah.
frankly. It's everything. That it's almost like, and I don't like this term, but I can't, for right now, I can't come up with another word, but it's like your personal brand. It is
For
you
sure.
moving through this world
Hmm.
and everything, that all the decisions that you make that represent who you are. And that's why
Hmm.
it's so important to understand your style. So you're telling that story, because whether or not you realize it, if you're paying attention to it or not, you're telling a story,
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah,
part of you, I think. Whether
yeah.
it's your color. I knew a woman that she could take just, I won't say they were ordinary clothes, but she could take, you know, a beige top, black pants, and make it pop with accessories.
Oh,
Like she would walk in
absolutely.
and you're just like, you look amazing. She goes, oh, I got these pants from Target and I got this, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
She
because
make me look so good.
people think style is fancy. They think it's, oh, you
Mhm.
have to spend a lot of money. You have to be rich. You have to be young. You have to be skinny. It's not
Mhm.
that. It's you making these decisions
Mhm.
that express who you are. And like a woman that you're talking about like that, who she made an impact on you, it's because she
Mhm.
was comfortable in her style and she was telling her
Oh
story.
yeah,
And
she
that's what we
knew.
pick. Yeah, that's what we pick up
Mhm.
on is that energy of like, oh
Mhm.
wow, she's really in her style, and that's why when you see somebody this is what happens to women, a lot of women in midlife, and maybe even your community of women who've been in uniforms is they might see that woman and go, "Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna try
Mhm.
that. I'm gonna do that." And although that's fine, it's not gonna work because she's telling her story and you have your
Mhm.
story. So you take elements of things that you see that you
Mhm.
like, but make it yours through your influences, your accessories or what have you.
Absolutely. I found out rather late in life that I really love chunky rings and
Oh, I
bracelets, you
love
know.
earrings.
Necklaces, not so much, but earrings, I'm not really earring girl, but rings
Yeah.
and bracelets, I love. I love
Well,
them.
can I ask you, because you have the most beautiful hands, you have
Oh, thank
gorgeous
you.
hands, gorgeous nails.
Hmm.
Do you love like, you're expressive with your hands and you
Hmm.
use your hands probably a lot in your work and what have you, and that is probably this incredible
Hmm.
extension for you to look down as you're using your hands and see all
Hmm.
these different rings and things that you've probably picked up on your travels or people have given you or what have you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really important.
And I think it becomes a part of me. Like if I every day, you know, I take them off at night, of course, but every day I'm like, I got to put my rings on. And if I forget, which I've done before, I feel naked. I feel like a part of me's gone. It's
Yeah.
so weird how that happens, right?
Do you rotate through rings or do you wear the same rings?
Oh, sometimes I rotate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
I'm like, oh, let's wear this one today.
Oh, that's great.
So, Hardy, a lot of women hit midlife and feel like they're standing at a crossroads.
Mhm,
Who they were versus who they are now, who they're becoming.
mhm.
How do you help women navigate that?
Well, I talk a lot about acceptance, just having
Mhm.
compassion and acceptance for who you are now, and
Mhm.
try not to look back and try to become that person again, or have. I mean, of course, we're going to have sadness around, aging and what have you. That's just normal. But really, accepting that and realizing. I always use this little exercise saying, 10 years ago, you were sort of fussing about yourself going, "Oh, I wish I could lose 10 pounds around my," or, "I wish these
Mhm.
pants fit," or whatever. Well, guess what? You do anything to be back there now. So
I
in
I
so in
know.
10 years from now, you're gonna appreciate where you are right this minute. So it's a matter of, like, really acceptance
Mhm.
and compassion and realizing that the point of life is to evolve, and if you're lucky enough to be here, it's to grow
Absolutely.
and to
Yes.
become more of you
Mhm.
all the time. And so if you're hanging on to who you used to be, how you used to
Mhm.
dress, whatever it is you're hanging on to, then you're
Mhm.
missing out on finding out who you are right now.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
had a friend of mine, we were kind of lamenting a little bit about our bodies as we age. And she had said something. She goes, I got out of the shower and she goes, I didn't know who this person was looking back at me. And I said, yeah, I know how you feel. I said, but just imagine this for a second, because she's in fitness too. I
Mhm.
said, imagine what our bodies would look like if we had never worked out. We both screamed. We're like, "Ah!"
There you go. That's exactly the same thing. Like, what if you weren't doing what you're doing now?
I
Yeah.
know.
I know.
Yeah, we were kind of horrified.
Well, it's very confronting. I remember
Mhm.
when the first time I sort of looked, I was going through some cancer treatment, and I remember looking in the mirror going, "Oh, holy hell!" I don't know if I can say that, but who in the world is
Mhm.
that? I mean, I really looked at myself going, "I don't even." understand. I don't even know who you are. And that's a very confronting time. And I understand that. And most of my clients have been through that, but it's really having compassion and
Yeah.
perspective and acceptance, really.
And I think that comes, it's not like a decision. I think it comes gradually.
Mm-hmm.
The acceptance, starting to figure out who am I now? And and I think that's by experimenting. There are things that you might try or do and it doesn't work out, but it doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
No,
It
you
means,
grow.
okay, I did that. I don't like that, but it leaves you open for what else is open for you. I truly believe that.
One thing that I have my clients do is we're really good at saying, well, I don't like my arms. I don't like my this. We're real good at that. But switching the narrative and saying, well, give me 3 parts of your body that you do love, or 3
Hmm.
areas of your life that you do love.
Hmm.
And let's start to highlight that. Let's make that negative go away. But
Hmm.
and once they kind of do it, and I say it can't be on your
Hmm.
face, like, I mean, your face or your head or your eyes
Hmm.
or something can be one, but it has to be on your body. And once they realize, like, women have said, I really love my chest or I love my
Hmm.
legs, then let's highlight that. Then when you get
Yeah.
dressed, make sure you're highlighting that.
Hmm.
And then that's that kind of slowly, it starts to change that negative
Yeah.
narrative a little bit.
I did that with a client. She was just, I don't like my body. I don't like this. I don't like that. And I stood her in front of a mirror. I think we were in a club, and a fitness club. And I stood her in front of the mirror and I said, okay, tell me what you don't like about yourself, but here's the rule. You give me one thing you don't like, you have to give me 2 things that you do like.
There you go. Yeah.
And she looked at me and I was like, she goes like, really? And I go, yes. But she started to notice,
Mhm.
because we've seen ourselves so much. And when someone goes, oh my God, you've got the most gorgeous hair.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But you don't really, you know what I'm saying? Because there are
Yeah.
people who would, if you have straight hair, you want curly hair. If you have curly
Mhm.
hair, you have black hair, you want blonde hair.
Mhm.
We're never really
Absolutely. Yeah.
satisfied.
And
So,
and we're not, a lot of times women of this, midlife of our generation, they feel weird about even saying, I like my chest or I
mhm.
like something about myself. There's that
Yes.
permission. And that's what's so nice that you have given them and my exercise. It gives them
Mhm.
permission to think about themselves and reconnect with them. That's the beginning of
Yes.
reconnection. And for me, I feel like you really discover your style when you start to reconnect
Mhm.
with who you are and what it is that
Mhm.
where you've been and where you're going.
Well, I think also when you're out, like I hardly ever go to the mall, but every now and then I'll go to the mall with my husband.
Yeah.
And is it appropriate to say that when you are drawn to the same, let's say wide leg pants, for instance,
Mhm.
okay, when you're drawn to those all the time, is that a clue that maybe that's something you could experiment with?
You mean changing? Like,
Yeah,
or that you're
like if
doing it
you,
too much?
yeah, well, no, no, no. I mean, as if, you're trying to change how you dress a little
Oh, I
bit
see what you're saying. Yeah.
and you keep, I love, I don't know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But
Now I see
you're
what you're saying.
drawn to it
Yeah.
automatically. Is that a clue that maybe that's something that maybe you should
Absolutely.
introduce?
Absolutely. And
Hmm.
I absolutely. When you start seeing, I have people do one way to find your style and things that
Hmm.
you're really starting to get interested in is to do a Pinterest board and
Mm.
and just start looking for things that you like. And it might be a whole outfit, it might be the wide leg jeans, it might be shoes. But
Hmm.
after you've pinned enough images, 20 plus images, you start to see things that it's almost like you're showing yourself what it is that you're interested in. And
Yeah.
when maybe you start seeing these wide leg pants come up, go to the store and try them on and see how they
Yeah.
fit.
Absolutely.
Know how things, different silhouettes fit your body, know what you're trying to do
Hmm.
with your body shape, but then go try them on. I mean, you do have to, we're in a time where, um, online shopping is so easy and there's so much online,
Hmm.
but I find at this age, pants are something that you're better going to the store and trying them
Yeah.
on, especially if you're changing it
Hmm.
or trying a new silhouette for sure. But
Or even if, okay, I have a weird body. I'm short waisted, but I have long limbs.
You do, yeah.
So I can't just, let me go try this, or buy it online because, one of two things happen. It's either too short, or I pull it down and the crotch is hanging somewhere between my knees.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, this is so not attractive.
Wow.
So I learned, I learned that, if I really want something, I have to not shop for it necessarily, but, find what store has what I'm looking for, and then go see, how it fits me.
Yeah.
But, it's.
That's hilarious. I have the short waist, but short limbs. So I don't, having long limbs would be nice.
Hardie, what is the one style rule about midlife dressing that makes you roll your eyes every time you hear it?
Oh, the age-appropriate rule. Oh my gosh, it really sends me to the moon. Because I get DM, I bet once a week, like, I really want to wear this, but is it age appropriate? What do you think about this? And I just, going back to what your style is or dressing, we don't dress to impress other people. We dress for ourselves. We dress. Clothes are meant to support you throughout your day. You wake up in the morning and you say, how do I want to feel? What do I have going on? And when you know how you want to feel, then you choose, you after time, you understand, when I feel this way, I want to wear those wide leg pants. I want to wear whatever. But if you have a style that, let's say you like mini skirts, let's say you love your legs, and you want to highlight your legs and you love mini skirts, but you're 65 years old. Everyone they hold that back. But guess what? If that makes you go out into this world and be fabulous,
girl, wear that mini skirt.
Totally. And treat people great and do the thing that you do. Who are we to say you cannot wear that? So I'm real but I also think we all have our internal mother maybe in our head going, we know when we put something on, and even though there's not a rule, we know I think I may have just grown out of that or what have you. But so I don't think you're going to ever let yourself make a fool of yourself is what everyone's worried about. But if it makes you feel good, do it. I mean, just do it.
I have to tell you, I had I don't know if it was an internal voice, but there was something that I was thinking or that was preventing me from wearing shorts. Like my legs have been covered up until this year.
Interesting.
And I started seeing other women around my age, and I thought, why am I doing this? Why am I? So for the first time in years, I wore shorts.
And how did it feel?
It felt great.
I bet. Oh, I love that.
It felt great. I felt comfortable. I wasn't, self-conscious. I was like, I'm going to do this.
Go. Yeah. Good. And that's that age appropriate. I mean, I remember I don't wear shorts because I just don't feel comfortable in them because my, it's like this, I have, you have little things on your legs and I'm like, But so for me, it's not an age thing. I just don't. But this summer, we went hiking and I was like, I'm going to wear shorts. And I did it for the first time in probably a decade. I wore shorts and I was a little self-conscious. And then I was like, why have I been holding myself back? This is
exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't even anything conscious. I just kept thinking, I should, not that I shouldn't. I just I'm not going to wear shorts anymore. Yeah. And I don't know where that came from, but it was just,
age, rule that's been out there. But no, I don't believe in the age rules.
Do you find that women that you help are disconnected from their bodies, so it's harder for them to pick clothes?
Really? I do. Yeah, because a lot of times like we started out saying, when we're young, we tried everything, right? We took risks, we tried everything. And then you probably settled into a style when you were in your 30s or what have you. And you knew how to dress your body. You just sort of knew what worked. But then as time goes on, even if you haven't gained an ounce, your body has shifted. The gravity has changed and clothes can fit differently. And
Yes, absolutely.
so they kind of beat themselves up. Why are these pants don't fit me anymore? Why does
Hmm.
this not? And basically, you just have to update your skill of knowing how to dress your body shape, how
Hmm.
you balance that body shape, and
Hmm.
what silhouettes work on you. Where, if you're, I use shapes like triangle. Some people will call that,
Hmm.
a pear. If you're heavier on the bottom and smaller on top, that triangle shape.
Hmm.
You just have to you have to know what pants fit. If you're curvy, fit that. But then that you have to bring some emphasis to your shoulders so you're
Hmm.
balancing
So it
your weight.
balances out. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that kind of thing. But just people get real disconnected because they haven't been taking those risks anymore. They haven't been
Hmm.
trying things on, and then they just get stuck. They don't know how to
Hmm.
dress their body anymore.
So I have one more question for you.
Mhm.
I've been seeing a lot on social media about AI. Let AI pick out your clothes. So I want to ask your opinion of what you think about that. Is it? I haven't tried it, and of course they make everything look just and I'm
Yeah,
thinking I don't know.
yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
Well, I haven't tried it, at all, but I don't. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I don't want to say I'm against it because I think for some people it might be the perfect thing. It might help
Hmm.
them. It might be the perfect entry into
Hmm.
what should I wear. I don't know what the. Do you know what the prompt is that they put in? Do they put in sort of?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
I
keep
don't.
seeing it. And it's like, oh, have AI pick out your, I guess put a wardrobe together for you or something. I haven't done it because it
Yeah.
freaks me out
Well,
just
I
a
think
little
I think
bit.
it's weird because then it's just somebody's telling you who you are and how you should show
Hmm.
up. I mean, that's the problem I have with it is because I
Yeah.
find style, like I've said, this is your story and how you're moving
Hmm.
through and how you're expressing yourself. So why would you let a computer tell you that on Monday you need to look like a French woman and your stripes and your jeans and your smart tennis shoes, and then on Tuesday you're going to look like something else. I
Hmm.
find that part difficult. I think maybe if you narrow down and you tell it exactly who you are and what you love, maybe it's a
Hmm.
tool that could help you pick your outfits that you've told them
Hmm.
that you like. But using it to have it tell you what your style is, I'm
Yeah.
completely against.
And even paying for it, like, oh, I remember back in the day when you would try an app and they'd say, try it for a month, and
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
oh, now it's like, try it for 3 days and you have to put your credit card in. And I'm like, I don't know what you can do for me because if
yeah.
anything doesn't come up purple, we're done.
The purple story with my rings don't come up. But no, I just feel like your style is it's you. It's your I think one way to really understand your style is to
Hmm.
go back into your life experiences and see what those influences have been. Maybe it's where you've
Hmm.
traveled. Maybe there was someone you met when you were a certain age that
Hmm.
really was very important to you, that really
Hmm.
it affected you and changed your life. It
Hmm.
can be anything. Maybe it's the region of where you lived or all the places that you lived.
Hmm.
But you have to understand what those influences are to bring that into your life. That's where those
Hmm.
accessories come in. That's where all
Yeah.
that. And so having AI do that, it's never going to know your story. It's never going to
That's
know
true.
who you
They
are.
don't know where you've been, where you're going,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I do know that I love clothes that are easy to put on. They look fabulous.
Hmm.
With something has little tiny buttons that you got to button in the back and even though it's cute, I'm like, no, I'm not going through that.
Yeah.
Just like the high heel shoes.
Yeah.
I used to love those and finally realized because I have high arches, I can't wear those types of shoes.
Right.
I can still wear heels, just not those.
Yeah.
So I go in the store and I'm like, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you're so pretty, but we
That's
can
such
only be
that
friends.
Oh my gosh, but that's so huge that you do that, that you're able to go,
Mhm.
"You are so pretty, but we are not coming
Yeah,
together," because a lot
yeah.
of people, it takes them a long time to learn those lessons, and they keep buying the same
Hmm.
thing, and it doesn't work. They don't
And
understand why
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And that's happened to me too. You keep buying the same thing and then finally you just go, why do
Oh,
I keep doing this?
yeah. Yeah.
What is my problem? And then you just
Absolutely.
kind of shift a little bit. Hardy, what does someone do if, we all have our own color, meaning we have our color palette,
Yep.
the whites, the blacks, the grays, the browns, whatever they are. How do I know what color or colors look good on me? How do I know this?
So it's about your undertones. You talk about your undertones, which you're either you warm undertone or cool undertone or neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people are neutral. That's more of your olive skin
Mm-hmm.
people. And so you start there. And so if you're a warm undertone, then warm colors obviously are going to look better on you. You're all
Mm-hmm.
like right now, all the autumn colors look wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
If you're cool, then more, so your blue undertones will look good on you. And after that, then you're talking about the chroma, how bright, how pure is the
Mm-hmm.
color or how muted is the
Mm-hmm.
color. So, for instance, you are a warm undertone and
Mm-hmm.
you are muted. That's why this muted purple that you have on right now looks just perfect on
Mm-hmm.
you. It's just
Oh, thank
perfect.
you.
Whereas if you were wearing, I don't know if anyone can see the color, like
Mm-hmm.
if the color of the background of our names on this screen, if
Mm-hmm.
you were wearing that bright color, you could probably pull that off a little bit, like if you were going somewhere. But if you
Right.
were to wear that, that's too bright for you. That's too
Mm-hmm.
clear for you. You need
Yeah.
that more muted tone.
Mm-hmm.
And so you really look at both, and then the brightness. If you're really light, then you need how light or how dark,
Mm-hmm.
deep of a color. But you break
Yeah.
it down into how bright or deep or light, your chroma, and then
Mm-hmm.
the undertones. That's how you know.
Wow. So I do know, or correct me if I'm wrong, that maybe there's a color you've been wearing that you love, but doesn't necessarily should be up near your face, but maybe
Mhm.
you could wear it as pants or even
Mhm.
shoes or even accessories.
100%. Yeah. And once again, because I'm not a big like you must follow this rule. You can, if you love that purple color, the brighter purple, wear it for goodness sakes, wear it. But you will know like, this kind of feels a little off. So what you do is if you find a blouse that's that, then maybe
Hmm.
you wear something around your neck. It's just really how it reflects against your face. Maybe you
Hmm.
wear something a little muted that tones everything
Hmm.
down around your face. But just because like I love that burnt orange, that sort of brown burnt orange. I
Yeah,
love that.
it's
I
beautiful.
cannot pull that off to save my life.
Hmm.
It just washes me out. But I can wear it as pants. I can wear it a
Hmm.
handbag. I can wear it maybe even like a necklace or some. I can pull it off a little bit. Everyone can pull
Yeah,
that off, but I just can't have it against my face. That's
against your
all it is.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all that is.
So, Hardy, how do you, when you are shopping, or how do you pick something? Is it something that you just kind of go, "Ooh, what's this?" Or are you intentional? You're like, I want this pair of pants. It's got to be, straight leg. It's got to be this color. Are you kind of like that? Or are you just like, oh, let me see where I fall,
Well,
when I go out?
a little bit of both. I mean, at this age and especially what I do, I don't need anything in my closet. Like, I don't need another item, but there's sometimes where it's like, this would help. But so if I do need an item, I will go and I know exactly the shape I'm looking for. I know the color, that kind of stuff. So I'm very intentional
Mhm.
and I know the brand. I have several brands that are my trusted brands. But because I don't take women shopping, like my clients, I don't shop for them, but I do
Mhm.
take some clients to Paris and we shop for a couple of
Ooh,
days, which is really fun.
I bet.
So before we go, I know we've worked together and I know their colors, I know their body
Mhm.
shape, I know their budget, I know what they're looking
Mhm.
for. And when you have all those pieces together, it helps you go right in and just things fall apart. You can look at the heels that
Mhm.
you saw and go, "Oh, you're so pretty, but I'm not, you're not for us."
No.
And but when that's why I always say you have to know these things before you go shopping because
Mhm.
all the pretty things that you don't work for you just fall
Mhm.
away. And then the things that you really know
Mhm.
work. And that comes with practice. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think you have to be armed with your colors, your
Mhm.
body shape, the silhouettes that work for you, your budget, and what you're
All
looking
of
for.
those things, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have clients who will say to you, I have nothing to wear?
Do I have a client that never says that? They all
But
say
what do
that.
you say to them?
Well,
Especially if they've got wall to wall clothes and they're like, I have nothing to wear.
yeah, I have nothing to wear because a lot of times they've bought, because I'll get in there and look, they've bought those one-off items,
Hmm.
they go and they buy this top that looks great, but they don't have anything to wear with it when they get home. They
Yeah.
don't think through the purchase. Like, well, what am I
Hmm.
going to actually wear this with? Or they have a dress that's too dressy that it doesn't fit their
Hmm.
lifestyle, that kind of thing. Or it's clothes that they've hung on to forever and it's just dead
Hmm.
weight and they just don't want to wear it. But a lot of times when someone says, I have so much in my closet, but I don't have anything to wear, they're in a rut and they just don't understand what their style is. They don't understand how
Hmm.
they're wanting to show up. They haven't updated that style yet.
Right.
That's a lot of times what it is.
Do you ever ask clients to get rid of certain things? Like, is that a process for them?
Oh yeah, it's they get so nervous when it's our wardrobe edit time because they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh gosh, am I gonna have anything left?" And it's not that, but if it doesn't, we've done the work prior. Like I said,
Mhm.
we know their style, we know how they're trying to express themselves, we know how to dress their body, we know the color. Those are sort of the triangle.
Mhm.
We go into the wardrobe of it with that
In
information.
mind, yeah.
And then it's actually clear to them. I mean, and if they
Mm.
have a really hard if I, say, I think this doesn't fit our criteria, "Oh, but my mother gave that to me," or,
Yeah.
whatever. If
Has
they
a
have
sentimental
yeah,
kind of attachment to
if
it.
they have a big enough closet, I said, "Just keep it in here," but if they don't, if
Mhm.
space let's take a picture of it and let someone else enjoy
Mhm.
that piece. And so sometimes you need someone just to kind of help you through
Oh,
that
sure.
processing and like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't want," I had
Yeah.
some memory with this. I went to some dinner with
Mhm.
this, and sometimes I think for me, because I just cleared out my wardrobe. Um, the thinking that someone else can enjoy it is just a
Mhm.
really nice way to release an item that you're just struggling with. I know I'm not going to wear this anymore. Why isn't
Mhm.
let's let someone else enjoy this.
Yeah. Or even maybe you find something that goes with it and you're just like, "Oh, I have a
Well,
new outfit."
that's the other thing, and that's the thing that I love doing. I'm like, "Well, have you ever
Mhm.
thought about putting this shirt over here that you never wear with
Mhm.
these pants over here?" "Oh, I never thought about that." So you have
Mhm.
to play. I always say on Sundays, get in your closet and give yourself 30 minutes and play.
Play
Take
around, yeah.
that
Dress
shirt
up.
yeah, dress up and put items together, and then you'll go, "Oh my gosh, I have way more to wear than I thought."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this question, but do you find that when a woman has gotten her wardrobe together with your help, of course, that it really helps her confidence? Like some
Mhm.
women are so confident in their job and what they do, and yet they come, when it comes to dressing themselves, or finding clothes, they're kind of like, oh, I don't know. They kind of rear back a little bit and they're kind of like timid about it. Do you find that?
Yeah, yeah. The work that I do, so I'm a style coach. I'm like a stylist that uses life coaching skills. And so
Hmm.
my whole thing that I do is I try to help your inner confidence, sort of how you're showing up in your life,
Hmm.
align with your outer confidence, how you're presenting
Hmm.
yourself. And what happens is like what you're saying, if a woman is just she's just on fire in her job and her career and how she's showing up in life and she loves that, but she doesn't
Hmm.
know how to dress herself, then something's amiss. And vice versa.
Yeah.
You might know how to dress yourself, but you're not
Hmm.
showing up in your life the way
Yeah.
that you want to. And so having those two
Hmm.
areas aligned to me is just I think that's how you age really with confidence because
Oh, yeah.
you're doing it. You
Hmm.
have that when you're showing up as yourself and you're dressed as yourself, there's
Hmm.
nothing you can't do. I mean, you're just on top of the world.
Right. When you're wearing something that just makes you feel
Oh,
so good and you walk into a room and, it's almost like you own the room. Not that you do, but you walk in and people are like, oh my,
I love when I see somebody like that. It's so inspiring and it's just
Hmm.
I'm always like, "Yay, you." Like, we need more of that. But yeah, but just
Hmm.
because there's something about it when you feel just like, God, I look like myself and I look good. And what means for you, you're stepping out into your world, doing what
Yeah.
you do. It's great.
I was
That's
just
the
thinking
goal.
about when you were talking about playing in your closet. And I remember going with my husband. He was trying to pick shirts and ties,
Yeah.
and he'd show me the tie and show me the shirt. And I'm like, ew. And then he put it together and I go, oh.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, oh, okay. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
So sometimes I see things and I'm like, separately. And then I see somebody put it together and I'm like, oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and that comes from playing. It really does. It comes from, and it could be something that you're on your Pinterest board, or maybe you see someone on his Instagram or someone in your own life who has an outfit that you really responded to. Well, try to recreate that with what you have. Try to not recreate like, oh, I need a red shirt and khaki pants and whatever.
Right.
Not that, but what was the essence of that outfit that worked? Was it there was a pop of color in the shoes and everything was neutral? Was it that she wore a scarf in a certain way? Try to recreate that and make it your own, because there's something about that spoke to you. And you just you don't try to copy it completely, but just the essence of what it was is.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to play to do that. You really do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this is an appropriate question. And if it's not, then I get it. But is there any such thing as a fashion faux pas for women who are in their midlife, or no?
I mean, I think that might be in the same camp as the age appropriate. I don't know. Like fashion faux pas is what? I mean, fashion faux would be like wearing white after Labor Day, or or I don't know. I don't even know if there are fashion faux pas anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, I certainly, it's like,
oh yeah.
After Easter, you could wear whatever, and after Labor Day, and don't have your pants too short. And now it's like hemlines are all different lengths. So I don't know. Actually, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see, what are fashion faux pas these days?
I don't know. I was thinking about it because something you said reminded me of when then President Obama had shown up, and I think he had this beige suit, something on. I guess you're supposed to wear blue or something. And people lost their minds. And I was like,
right.
He looks good. I don't understand what the problem
is. It wasn't presidential or whatever it was. It wasn't powerful or something. Yeah.
I was like, wow. Okay.
I think we're in a time that anything goes. I don't know if there is. But, I mean, everything goes. I don't even think so many people talk about, oh, that's the 90s trend coming back, or the 80s trend.
I know. I hate that.
But I also think that anything goes these days. And, if you want to dress like the 90s, 80s, 70s, whatever.
You might as well hang on to it because it's coming back. Just put your stuff in a storage unit, and then it's like, oh, let me pull it back out. Those racks, remember those racks with all the clothes in here?
You're right. It does. I mean, hang on to some stuff and it'll definitely come back for sure.
Hardie, have you ever had a client that was just lacking self-confidence all over? I mean, how do you start with someone like that?
Yeah, actually, a lot of my clients start out that way. There's been some life event that's happened, empty nesters, divorce, change of career, death, things like that. And so the confidence is kind of low. But so we really start with where you are. I really love people to reconnect with themselves first and just say, where are you in life right now? And kind of assess where they are and where they're wanting to go. And go into that life story. Go back to where you've been. What is that life story? And that reconnection with self does start to build the confidence. And then once they start learning a few things, the compassion and acceptance piece really starts to play in, and the 3 parts of your body that you really appreciate. These are little steps that have them start to kind of feel confident, and then learning the colors. And so I do see it. I really start to see that, but it's little steps. But I think in general, what that is just taking the time to reconnect with yourself, understand who you are. Because getting to this age is very confronting. Your runway is much shorter. oh God, am I doing everything that I want to do? And
Yeah. You start not questioning everything. I think for me, as you know, a lot of people, when I started my business, they said, well, aren't you too old? And I'm like,
oh God,
no. And so it's not that I'm in a hurry. I'm trying to learn as much as I can, because, I have more time behind me than I do in front of me.
yes.
So I'm trying to not do all the things, but I'm trying to enjoy all of these things.
Yeah.
I used to say one of my favorite foods is ice cream. I think it should be its own food group. And,
Me too.
I used to say, oh, let's just save the ice cream. And my husband's like, let's just eat it now. Because what are we saving it for? And I was like, oh, I love you so much.
Exactly. Yeah, what are you saving it for? I mean, today, all we got is
Yeah.
today. Today is
Yeah.
our
Well,
day.
my mother used to say, let's save it for, she was one of those,
Yeah,
And so I was like,
yeah,
oh, let's see, he's like, no, let's just eat it now,
yeah.
Hardie, tell us, our audience, a little bit more about a year in style. What does that look like?
So, A Year in Style, that's my website. A Year in Style, also the name of my business. It's all about being intentional with your life. I do think that when you're paying attention to those decisions, that is your
Mm-hmm.
style, every day, every week, every month, then you're living a year in style. You're really paying
Mm-hmm.
attention to that. And I break the year down. Each month has its own rhythm. It has its own if you think about it, it has its own weather, a little
Mm-hmm.
micro weather. It has its own rhythm. There are different opportunities, there are different holidays, what have you. But if
Yeah.
you look at each month and you make that an exercise that you pay attention to things that you can be doing for your personal, like your beauty routine or your
Mm-hmm.
personal style or your house or what have you. So on the website, each month has personal style, interiors, lifestyle, and beauty routines. I give you
Mm-hmm.
style tips of what to pay attention to this month. What can I be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're getting ready to come into a new season. So maybe it's a
Mm-hmm.
wardrobe edit this month, and let's pay attention to that. But I think when you're paying attention to your life, to these
Mm-hmm.
decisions, then you're not going to all of a sudden be 70 years old going, damn it, I didn't do
I
what I
didn't do
wanted
this,
to
this, and this.
do.
Yeah,
That you're
exactly.
really paying attention and
Yeah.
staying connected to yourself so
Mm-hmm.
that you are living your life. You're
Mm-hmm.
living your best life, not to be cliche,
Mm-hmm.
but you're living your best life. And so I
It's
think
being present in
it's
your
being
own
present
life. We
100%.
kind of just walk through and, we hit roadblocks every now and then, but we're kind of oblivious of
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
or even in front of us, our own selves,
Yeah. Right.
and then all of a sudden, you look in the mirror and you think, oh my gosh, who is that person?
Exactly.
And then it's this shock
Right.
because you've been living life, you've been raising kids, you've been working, you've been doing all this other stuff. Now you're an empty nester and you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror because what you feel here is different than what you see here,
Mhm. Mhm.
and sometimes they don't connect together.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're like, wait, what? Who's that? That's my
Yeah,
mom, like,
exactly. That's my mom. But I've never thought about it like that. Staying intentional and make it like you're saying, making all these
hmm
choices, that eliminates that looking in the mirror and going, "Who in the world is
hmm
that?" That's
hmm
not gonna happen when you are staying connected to yourself and you're making
yeah.
the choices. And back to the acceptance bit is if you know that every day, every week, every month, every
hmm
year, you're doing the best you can, you're taking care
hmm
of yourself the best you can,
yeah.
there can't be any judgment because you're doing the best you can. And
Right.
there can't be judgment on that. There's just
hmm
acceptance and compassion, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Hardy, I want to kind of pivot just a little bit and talk. October is Breast Cancer Awareness, and you are a breast cancer survivor. I'm so glad that you're
yeah.
still here with us.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you can tell women, about, getting, I mean, they always hear it. I hear it on TV, get your mammogram, get your mammogram. But from someone who's experienced it, were you getting mammograms regularly, or or did you put it off and then went later? Or would you mind speaking about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So I was pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty on top of my health, and so I do my mammograms and that kind of stuff. I had a biopsy in that breast probably 2 years prior, and so I was a little bit more on the ball about this. But we were really busy. We were contemplating moving from the West Coast to the East Coast, and my husband was about to take the job, and I said, I'm just going to wait till I get there and do that in maybe 6 months. And then because I'd had that biopsy, I said, no, I should probably go in. So I went in, they called me back, and I thought, they're just going to tell me that, whatever. And then it was. So my tumor was incredibly aggressive. They have these different markers. And had I waited that 6 months, it would have been a completely different story. And so my message to everyone is, please get your annual mammogram. Please just pick a date. That's my little motto. Pick a date. Pick your birthday, your spouse's birthday,
so that you remember it.
So you remember it. And then when you get the appointment, after you have it, book it again for the next year. Have that on the calendar. Don't let it go, because breast cancer it's not necessarily, it's not, you have breast cancer. That's it. You can catch this, and it doesn't have to be a terrible thing. I mean, it's not fun, but you can be here 8 years later talking to Kat Corchado on a podcast about breast cancer. So that's, yeah.
Hardie, where can people find you if they need your services, what you do for women?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at A Year in Style, and then my website is ayearinstyle.com. And on there, I have you can sign up for my newsletter on the website. And it's not ready now, but in about 3 weeks, I have a style audit sort of quiz that I'm putting out that will help you understand where you are and how I can help you in that way. So if you get on my newsletter, you'll be the first to receive that quiz. So, yeah.
Well, Hardie, this has been such an amazing conversation. I don't know about my listeners, but I feel like I just sat down with a wise friend who reminded me that reinvention isn't just possible, but it's also personal.
Yeah.
Your story is such a powerful example of turning a life-altering experience into a source of strength and creativity. Whether it's the way we dress, the spaces we live in, or the stories we tell ourselves, style, as you show us, is really about how we show up for our own lives. So if you, sweet listener, want to learn more about Hardie or her work through A Year in Style, I'll link everything in the show notes. And if today's episode sparked anything for you, I'd love to hear about it. Share the episode, leave a review, or just ask a question. I'll make sure that Hardie gets it. So until next time, please stay safe, take care of each other. And again, until next time, and please remember, it's never, ever too late to start your impossible.